Hello, everybody. This is Anthony Beyond from Mission Start Podcast. We just witnessed. Let me try it real quick. We just witnessed the Sony press conference, last conference of the day, and what a way to go
Oh,
out.
you're still hosting.
Oh, am I still hosting? Oh shit.
God damn it.
Okay, so let me go. Let me turn back time for a second there. So my name is Anthony Beyond. We had just witnessed the Sony press conference for the last, I want to say last day, the at least in presentation wise, for E3. Before I continue, let me introduce people that is joining me tonight to talk about everything Sony press conference. So with me is Greg Dietz, and then also we have Alex.
Spooderman, is that you?
So yes, we witnessed the the press conference. Holy crap. So I think the first thing to say is that Sony nailed it out of the park again. Just hit after hit after hit.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
Can we give our grading now? Again, as I'm watching it, I'm like, they kept announcing things that were exciting, things that I want to play, and I'm just going, and I own an Xbox One. Why?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of hate them right now because now I have to go buy a PlayStation 4.
Right. Like at least before September.
Right.
Fuck them and fuck everything they stand for. How dare they put out good content?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Man, I think we should start from the top because they announced a lot of things, and there's only an hour actually. I thought it would go over another hour. So,
It's only an hour. I mean, it was only an hour of so much shit you couldn't fucking breathe. You couldn't, like, there was no stop.
Definitely.
That train fucking sped until it slammed into a goddamn wall and then went through it.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing which I find surprising, God of War reboot. Like, it's just basically it's a reimagining.
I don't think it's a reboot or a reimagining. From what they showed, what I think it is that Kratos is done with what he was doing, and this is the life that he leads now because he's older in this. I think it's just a future story, and if they're going to tell a brand new God of War story with the same character, why call it God of War 4?
Right. I mean, maybe it is a continuation, or maybe it's a complete reboot. I'm not quite sure which of the other. I think for me, I had never expected to see God of War in this style, like in a Last of Us style, and the way that was presented. That completely just blew my mind.
Well, first off, nobody would have ever expected that before Last of Us. To be fair, Last of Us is the game that proved that kind of style can actually work and work well.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, I think it's a good turn because correct me if I'm mistaken. Did the boy not call Kratos dad or father?
Yes.
He said father, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple ways that could be. It could literally be his biological son, possibility, or it could just be that Kratos was the god of war. It could be that he's just some mortal that has decided to call Kratos father.
True.
Yeah, like I was thinking that it's either his actual biological son and he found a mate after dealing with what he dealt with in the original trilogy, or an adopted son, in a sense.
It's not too out of the realm possibility because in God of War series, like, you had these mini games where you would have sex with the women to gain red orbs or red health. So, like, it's not too out of the possibility that they got pregnant and hence the case.
Also, it takes place within Norse mythology, and when he raged out, it said activate Spartan mode or Spartan rage mode. So clearly, he's still a Spartan. It's not like a retelling of the whole thing within the Norse mythology.
True.
That's how I took it anyway.
Right, right. Nonetheless,
I think it's a very interesting. It definitely looks like they're going from the straight like we are, the Greek mythology and all that, and they are transitioning away from that into other areas, which I think is an interesting turn because we're now seeing people experiment with, well, what if mythologies cross over from one culture to the next?
hmm yeah, I'm definitely seeing. It's really cool to see that
It's possible.
that mix of cultures into a game, something like this. It's it looks good. I think that the direction they're going toward is very interesting. Um, wow, I am very very interested to see more of God of War, and that's something that I have not said in a long time.
Yeah, I can't wait until Santa Monica Studio puts out a little bit more information about the story and stuff like that, so that way we can have a little bit more context to what we witnessed.
Yeah.
He fought a troll in the trailer. He was clearly teaching his son or adopted son how to hunt, and his son is growing up and learning how to kill and all that sort of stuff. And then there was a dragon, and the deer that they killed had like glowing blue horns, and there was a lot of mysticism within it. And then at the end, when it showed the logo, the circle around the word of had Norse symbols.
Yeah.
So that like I'm really really interested as to where they're going with this, and
Agreed.
in the other God of War games, the big thing that was a prevalent thing was he killed all of the Greek gods, every single one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
He
It's
was
very true.
Yeah, and is he gonna kill all the Norse ones now? Like, is
Kill every god he come across to.
he's gonna kill Thor?
That'd be kind of hilarious.
And one thing I want to bring to the attention for those who don't know, I think it was God of War 2. There was a trophy in it that was take no damage in the entire game. I'm pretty sure it was 2. It could be wrong. So they have a very high standard that they set for like what they expect some of their players to get at like their top caliber. And I'd be really interested to see that come back, especially since because I tested for Sony. I know this story. It was passed around when we were doing our training. But apparently, even if you knew the dev commands and could get into them and turned on invincibility, even if you did that, if you took a hit, you still could not get that trophy. So to test that trophy, somebody actually had to play that game and make sure it triggered without taking a single point of damage.
Man, that's crazy.
And apparently it took the guy 23 days to do.
Wow.
And when he finally made it through, it triggered once and they never tested it again.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm just still blown away by what I just saw. God of War, holy crap. I got nothing else to say. So the next game they went on from the initial announcement. Also, do in mind or do note they're presenting each game with a live orchestra the entire time of the press conference, which I think is pretty cool.
And they went back to back.
Yeah,
which
definitely.
is unheard of. They didn't have somebody come out and talk about their game. Really, it was just literally like, "Here's the next game." Okay, here's the next game. And here's
one of the things I said I put on Twitter immediately when they were showing the God of War thing, and they did it throughout the entire show, was I went Microsoft, take note. This is how you show a live demo, or not live demo. This is how you show gameplay and the live element. Because it was like right in the center, like on the side of the screen here, but you had a small bar on the left and right that showed the audience, the stage, like a dude playing it, I guess.
Yeah. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that saw that and appreciated it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you fucking do it.
Yeah, that was really impressive. The next game they showed off was called Days Gone, and this was a post-apocalyptic game, and they actually have a live demo of it at the very end of the show, where basically you're this guy who is fighting through the zombie apocalypse, and it looks good. It's like the 28 days later type of zombies that are coming at you, so they're running at you the entire time. Which I think
it seems like there was a mixture of them. There were some that were running. There were some that were kind of shambling. It really depended on like where they were.
Yeah, I was looking at them, and they also took body shots to get to die, and that told me that they weren't so much zombies as much as they were just infected humans.
Could be.
Infected with what? We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Right. I know that's tomato when it comes to like what a zombie is, but
Oh no, it totally makes a difference. And anybody that says otherwise needs to look up what zombie is.
well, like you don't say like somebody's if you don't you don't see a group of people running on a track and you go like zombies. You don't say that. It's when somebody wakes up in the morning and they're moving real slow. You call them a zombie. I mean, clearly that's a thing to me, but yeah, it definitely looked like they were less undead and more infected.
Yeah, yeah. We'll find out soon enough. Probably like during this week.
And
What exactly
that-
they are.
Now that I think about it too, that might actually be kind of like a little throwback to the clickers from.
True,
I mean,
true.
because the clickers were pretty much zombies. Let's be honest. Like
Yeah.
they weren't zombies, but pretty much were, and they were very very fast.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Balthasar, he really liked the AI fire avoidance, and there were some intelligent pathing choices that felt very horde mentality.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, you could
Yeah.
literally see it, too. Like, when he was on the roof and he kind of made that, like, swooping left turn as he went backwards firing, you could watch it like a river following him.
Yeah. There's some really really good stuff in that trailer and in that live demo they showed off. Who
I
was
remember the company that made it.
Yeah, I was
'cause,
thinking the same thing too. Like, I'm trying to figure out who was the one.
I bet you can find it online already.
I'm doing that right now. My computer's just being a little slow for some reason.
I want to say, yeah, I want to know who's making it.
You know what? I was actually really surprised. We didn't see, like, any kind of... Well, I guess he kind of inspired, like, the Daryl Dixon from Walking Dead. Like, I immediately, like, as soon as I saw it, and I was like, okay, that's got to be, Norman Reedus. Like, that was my first thought that was going to be the character was based on.
Right.
And they kind of had some throwbacks to, like, kind of make you look at it like that, but it wasn't his character.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was Sony Bend, and now I got to look up what Sony Bend made.
Right. It was Sony Bend. That's right.
I have no idea what they made.
might be a new company, like altogether.
I'm looking them up right now because let's see, Bend Studios, games developed. Bubsy 3D was their first.
What? Wow.
And then the Siphon Filter series, literally that's all they made until 2007.
Okay,
and then they
Filter
made,
was pretty good.
Yes.
yeah.
Filter's really fucking good.
And then in 2009 they made the Resistance Retribution for the PlayStation Portable, and then they made the 2 Uncharted games for the PlayStation Vita. That's it.
So
leading up to
it
this.
sounds like they have been for quite a few years a Vita, like a handheld console company.
Yes. The last console game they made was Siphon Filter: The Omega Strain for the PS2. Everything after that's been PlayStation Portable or Vita, and now this is the first game that they're making back on console.
Wow.
Well, I'm really glad that they're coming back because the portables on PlayStation side have always been terrible. Like you can't get any decent games on there, really. You just can't.
So fascinating thing. I scrolled up a little bit to read something, and I think this is really interesting. So this is the only company that has worked with both Naughty Dog and Insomniac. With Resistance and Uncharted.
Interesting.
So, like, I think we're seeing a lot of influence from both companies.
Yeah, I can
in
definitely
Days
agree
Gone.
with that.
That's
really fucking cool. I'm excited for Days Gone. It looks awesome. I don't know that I'll be able to play it without fucking shitting my pants, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good. That's really actually an interesting point to bring up, the fact that they have this possible influence from these two big companies into their game. We'll definitely, if anything, the next couple of days during E3 we will definitely see more footage of all these games for the most part on the show floor from outlets. The next game that they showed off right after that was a trailer for Last Guardian. They showed off some new stuff. They showed off just like more snippets of the story. But the
important part,
yes,
the important part,
the main important part of this is they finally revealed the date, and it's going to be October 26, 2016 of this year. So we're finally going to get the release date. Finally going to have the game out in physical form after so long of being in development hell. So, I'm just glad it has a release
I
date.
can't. Yeah, I can't believe it has a release date. Honestly, after being such a fan of Eco's game, Studio Eco or Eco, so whatever. Eco, the company that makes it
Yes,
is
yes, the guy.
Eco.
Shadow of the Colossus and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When like I mean, fucking Last Guardian was supposed to be on the PS3.
It was. Yeah.
So like this is a long time coming, and the fact that it's real is fucking insanity to me. So I am beyond stoked to play that in October.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
So
And the developer is Team Ico.
Wow, awesome. I say that in a way that should have been so obvious to me.
I want to bring up a point to you all as well, just so you have an idea of how much time they have put into this game. The last official release from that company is Shadow of the Colossus in 2005. Now, granted, they did have a remastered version of the Ico and Shadow of Colossus collection in 2011, but that was really just, hey, we're going to release it on the PlayStation 3, so let's upgrade all the graphics.
Yeah.
They have not put out a single game in 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years it's been.
Not to mention that they've have gone through again development hell. Like they've in the middle of their development process, they had to change from system to system, from PS3 to PS4. Like there were so many conversations that people were leaving. That the one particular person, I forgot his name right now, was like only there on a contract basis. It got real ugly. And I'm just surprised that it managed to find its way out of all that.
Most companies in this position would have gone under years ago.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, you haven't put out a single game in 5 years, and let alone that game was actually just a remastered collection. So it's actually been over a decade now before they'll have a new game out. Name me one other company in the last 10 years that has been able to put out one game a decade.
Yeah.
The amount of faith that shows that Sony has in this company and in this product is just, it's unbelievable. You cannot come up with how crazy this is to see one game in, it's going to be 11 years.
It's a ballsy move from Sony, but Sony...
It's all or nothing.
Yeah, it really is. And they've been, to be fair, Sony has always kind of been that company to like, we'll take chances on these video game companies or the video game IPs that may or may not work. But props to Sony for supporting them throughout the entire
But there's
thing.
a difference between taking the chance on, like, MAG, which was a totally new IP you don't know, and then, well, we know you can put out good games, but it's going to take you 11 years. Okay, we'll float your bills.
It's insane. But like, it's insane to just think that it's happening finally. It's like, man, I would say it's almost as if Half-Life 3 was announced, but that's never gonna happen. So
do you know Valve has a secret meeting for E3?
don't tease me, man. I don't want to get my hopes up. I forgone that idea long ago. So Last Guardian was the thing they showed us. The next game they showed up was Horizon Zero Dawn, which again, that game looks good. I love everything about that game. I love the setting. You're again I guess post-apocalyptic. Like it's like almost as if you're in the like it's like because these animals are combined with these mechanical parts, so like part machine, part animals. But you're like this. You're this woman who is living off the land, or trying to survive in a way that Native American would be. It's very, very cool. It's very interesting, and it looks damn good. So I am very excited.
Yeah, I'm curious. I want to know more about the world that she lives in, because like it's a really neat concept, but it's that like that video and last year just kind of gave a taste of the world.
Mm-hmm.
This particular demo showed more gameplay than the last one, but yeah, dude, it looks amazing.
Definitely. And
what I really appreciate about this game, though, is once again it's a new IP. Mm-hmm. I love new IPs. New IPs are great. They bring more life into the industry, but they're going back to their roots. Because if you know PlayStation, they are traditionally an RPG console. That's what they do. They have good studios that they build around for those types of games, and they just lift it up, and it gives life and longevity to the console itself. Because I still know people who have a original PlayStation so that they can play the Final Fantasy games. I mean, name one Xbox game you would go back to.
Yeah. We're talking about like original Xbox or Xbox?
Yeah, original Xbox. Not even the 360. We're going to the original Xbox, which was after the original PlayStation.
Right. There's a game I like to go back to outside of Halo.
There's a few. I really liked. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a game where you play as a like slightly intelligent zombie, and you use your
Stubbs the zombie.
Stubbs the zombie. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a couple, but is it like, well, pick a Final Fantasy game, Legends of Dragoon? I mean,
Yeah.
they have a mammoth, just mammoth
Yeah.
collection of games that people
Yeah.
are willing to go back to, and it's one of the reasons why their digital distribution stuff is so easy to handle for them, because they can easily just be like, oh, well, we don't have anything coming out, well, let's remaster something and throw it up on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, so I actually gonna look up something real quick because I want to say that, yeah, okay, awesome, I was correct. All right, so just side note, Horizon Zero Dawn is being made by Guerrilla Games, the guys who did the whole Killzone series. It took them 4 Killzones to get to a 1 Zero Dawn, so I think it was well worth the wait. But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn looks great, and I cannot wait for that one to come out. The next game they showed off was David Cage's new game, Detroit.
Oh boy.
Which it's very like if you know how David Cage's game work, they basically are you choose A, B, or C, and if A is chosen, this scenario happens, and then now you got to choose a different set of options to continue the story. And this is something he's done with Heavy Rain, that he's done with LA Noire, and so on. The thing
But
about,
if it's David Cage, that means that it's probably going to be a terrible story. As I have stated in the past, as it has been shown, generally speaking, the games look really cool, the idea is really cool, and then when it actually comes out, you're just like, boy, this is lame. Boy, this is real lame.
Yeah. I can kind of agree with that. I mean, Heavy Rain I enjoyed personally. The story left a little bit to be desired, but I think it was a good storyline all around. Unfortunately, it was one of those games where you might as well have gone out and rented the thing, because back then you could actually still rent those games and play it that way and then just return it, because if you bought it, you played it once and then you never touched it again, most likely.
Out of just pure curiosity, what do you mean back then? Because I still rent most of my games.
Okay, so what I mean is 2010, you could like go down and rent it for like a week, rather than I'm going to rent it for a day from Redbox.
I do Gamefly.
Okay, well, see, I don't have GameFly. I'm talking about like you could go out to a store, Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, a Game Crazy. I mean, all those types of stores that used to exist that no longer do for good reason. But I mean, honestly, looking at it, I have a feeling Detroit Become Human is going to be a rent it on Redbox and play it that way.
yeah,
Just because the story is going to be short like Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain lasted me a day, maybe a day and a half. So...
yeah. Agreed. I think that it's going to be a short game, if you know David Cage's style of game. It looks good. The presentation is pretty interesting, and just this, I mean, from the tutorial aspect, the story looks interesting. Like, you're an android, and like you were there to save the little girl from the other android. And in their trailer previous to that, like last year, was like kind of questioning these androids, are they going to be kind of treated not as equal as humans, and kind of how the society type of deal. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not quite as interested in Detroit, but I'll probably just see what it's all about later on when it comes out, or when it gets closer to the release date.
Yeah. I also do want to put kind of a buyer beware on this as well. Beyond Two Souls was his. The Dark Sorcerer was his. I mean, these are games that I did not particularly enjoy myself. But I know some people did.
Yeah.
So you got to really, really think before you go out and drop $60 on this game, and really figure out if it's something you want to do or you want to play. Do the research.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, like what I'll end up doing is I'll end up renting this through GameFly. I'll play it, or probably take it to a friend's house as a PS4, and we'll sit and watch it or play it. And as we're playing it / watch it, we will probably dissect it as we're going through, as you do with a game that you experience. Because the thing about the game is you experience it in segments. You don't experience it like a movie.
Yeah,
A movie,
definitely.
you sit down, you watch it for 2 hours, and you get a whole experience right then and there. But a video game is done in segments, and so each story segment, each element has to play off of whatever's happening next, and that's where, to me, like Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy, kind of fucked up big time. Was its story segments didn't make sense to the rest of the story half the time, and with Heavy Rain, it didn't make any sense for you to play the killer, because all of the decisions that you made as the killer ultimately didn't I don't want to say didn't matter, but it didn't make sense for you to like, I get what they were going for. They wanted to surprise you. They wanted you to be like, hey, this character's not the killer because I'm controlling him, and then boom, surprise you with that. But ultimately it didn't work. And it felt wrong at the end of the game. Plus the acting was fucking terrible.
Right.
And then with Beyond Two Souls, the concept was neat, but the execution was poor, because the idea that this entity, which turned out, spoiler alert, to be her twin brother who died, the idea was they were attached by a, so to speak, umbilical cord. That was the underlining theme or idea. However, when the story is told in broken segments as if it's a Quentin Tarantino film, you kind of just you don't really follow a path of character development. The idea of a game is that you are, especially story-wise, you are following a character through the path in which this story kind of affects their life or whatever. Take any game that you've ever played that has a linear story. There's a character growth and development part. With with Beyond Two Souls, you're getting small bits of character development, and you're not getting them in a linear path. So by the time you get to the end game, it doesn't feel cohesive, and it feels contrived as to why there's an attachment with certain characters that don't really fit what was going on in the first place. That's how I feel about all of his games. He comes up with these really neat ideas and then executes them terribly. Like, I wish there was an analogy I could come up with that's not offensive, but it really just, to me, when I see this game, when I see Detroit Become Human, I see more of the same. I see him basically like, I really, really enjoyed the story of what's it called, Blade Runner, and I want to explore that. And do androids dream of electric sheep? Do they? I don't know. Let's find out. So the shit just comes off as contrived. It comes off as a way for David Cage to kind of push this idea of what does it mean to be human, much like what if a spirit had control over certain stupid little things? What if what if you couldn't? Trying to think of the questions that were asked for the other games, like Indigo Prophecy. What if you didn't know that, like you lost chunks of time and you had to figure it out? What if, like I want to explore this murder mystery idea. It's just I don't know. There's a lot of things that he does that I don't agree with when it comes to storytelling, and Detroit just doesn't make me go. Just doesn't make me excited for it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. It looks really good. But then again, David Cage's games always look good for the start. But I can definitely see what you're going at, and I think that it's something that for better or for worse, like I'm not sure if he'll ever correct those mistakes per se. I think it's just his style and just like how he wants to produce his games. But
he's an idea man
yeah.
who is given the ability to write a script, and he's not a script writer. He's like fucking George Lucas.
Yeah.
Well, and here's one thing I want to bring up too about Detroit Become Human. Do you guys remember when they first did that PS3 tech demo in 2012, where they had like the cyborg,
Yes.
and she was like being assembled? They tested her, found she was wrong, and then disassembled her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the start of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
So the fact that they're basing a game off a tech demo, while interesting and different, I'm not sure that that's a good idea. You know what I mean?
They did the same thing. I was gonna say, like, they did the same thing for Heavy Rain as well. So
yeah, yep.
Yeah, and I mean, Heavy Rain was decent. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but it was not something that you could just play all the time. It was like, I played it once, I'm done. End of discussion. Tech demos are made in a certain way for a certain reason, and to try and base an entire game off a tech demo, you can do it, but you kind of have to wiggle it into place, and it doesn't quite fit right, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's very hard to pull off.
I'll say this much. From what I've read about Become Human, he didn't write the entire script himself like he had the other games. There were a group of people that were kind of like, well, we should do it this way instead of this way, and if we're going to write the story, we should put a little bit more here, and he's not the director this time or whatever. He doesn't have as much power with this one as he has had the other ones. So
Right, definitely.
So it might be a good game. I'm less optimistic about this one than I have been other games, but I can't sit there and be like, yeah, this game's gonna be great, because I doubt it, because other games have disappointed me so much. I'm like, I'll play it, David Cage. I'll play it, but so help me Christ.
Right. So moving on along with the other games that were shown off and announced. Then we get into the VR block, where they showcase a bunch of games are going to be. And here's the thing: some of these games are actually going to be games, and some of them are actually just going to be experiences, like just add-ons. The very first VR game. So I was watching the Giant Bomb guys talk about this over the stream, and they were talking about they had a VR demo a good long ago, 1 year ago, maybe longer than that, of them in a kitchen, and they couldn't move, but this killer would eventually kill you, and like all you can do is move your head. You couldn't do anything else. So apparently it was from Capcom, and nothing came out of that. So flash forward to right now, the reveal was actually that VR was a Resident Evil 7 game, and the surprising thing about this, it is a VR game, but also is a full-fledged game on its own as well. I expect from the looks of it, it looks like the game was specifically made for VR, but then they probably made a different version of it so they can play on consoles. In first-person view. That game looks, holy shit, it looked really good. Capcom went back to its roots, into the horror genre, and it looks scary as hell.
They reached way back into their roots for this one.
Oh my god. It's a mansion. They went back to the mansion, and you see bugs, you see just creepy stuff all around. The atmosphere is freaking great.
What are you talking about right now? Sorry, I went to go.
Resident Evil 7 VR.
So there's two questions I have about that. First off, is it only available through VR?
No, so it's gonna be VR and there's gonna have a standalone game of it as well. So you can play both
Okay.
VR
Yeah.
and on
I
the
don't.
console.
I don't
And
think
is
they'd be
it-
dumb enough to make it a VR only game. I don't
Is
think any of these will be.
is the VR is the part that's or the game that's not VR? Is it in first person?
I would assume so. I want to say like probably get more details the next couple of days for E3, but I want to say yeah, like it's gonna be. I believe they transitioned it to where like the VR only thing like is first person view. And I want to say that it's probably the same for the console game.
Yeah, that's too spooky 5 me.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of Resident Evil games. I like watching them played, in spurts, but I've never been a huge player of them. I love the lore. I love the stories they tell, but I am not a horror game guy.
Yeah, I rarely play horror games. And I'm more excited the fact that Capcom's going back to the root and going back to what they are good at with horror games, when horror was horror and not an action horror game or action game that Resident Evil kind of became B in Resident Evil 6. I'm kind of curious as far as if they're going to is it continuing the story, because this is Resident Evil 7, so I'm wondering this is like continuing the story of it, or I don't know. I'm curious as far as like what they're gonna take with that idea. But Resident Evil 7, holy crap! And it had a release date too. It's gonna be on the 24th of this year.
Yeah.
For October, I want to say. I wrote the 24th, 2017. I think I want to say it's October. Oh yeah, and then they put in Biohazard. I like that touch from Capcom because
Yeah.
it's called Biohazard in Japan.
Is it going to be Biohazard 7 or Biohazard 7 Biohazard?
Either way, there's gonna be 7 attached to the game.
I think I'm also being fucking facetious because it's probably just going to be Biohazard 7.
Also to note, so amongst I forgot to mention like the VR itself that Sony was talking about in the past year. It's got a release date and it's got a price. October 13th is when the VR will come out for Sony, and it's gonna be for $400 by itself. Here's the thing though.
Sorry, fucking lyrical Danny Chan in the chat.
Yeah. Here's the thing they did not mention, because like it is $400 by itself, but that's only assuming that you have a PS4 and you have the camera with it. Otherwise, it won't work.
Right.
So.
And that's another thing.
Let's be honest. If you're looking at it, you probably don't have the camera, because you're a human being that doesn't want to buy shit you don't want.
Right.
So I mean, it's going to be more than that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I want to say it's about 400 plus. Oh, I don't know how much is it going.
I don't even know how much the camera is. Honestly, it could be $50 for the camera for all I know.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so Resident Evil 7 was the first VR game they showed off, and they also announced the fact they're gonna have 50 VR games with it during the launch. So, it's not gonna be just it comes out and there's only like a few games. There's gonna be about a good amount of games to check out. Probably some of them are gonna be shuffleware to begin with, but we'll see. They showed off more VR games. Farpoint was the next one they showed off, which looks very interesting. It's like it's a first-person shooter. You're on this desolate planet. You're in space. You're discovering shit, and this almost feels like another like kind of horror game. Which the VR is pretty good at in that aspect. They didn't say any date for Farpoint other than the fact that it looks interesting. It looks cool. Kind of reminds me of like I don't know, like what was that movie called? The predate to not aliens, but the precursor to aliens, Prometheus. It was called, yeah. It kind of reminded me of that. So, Farpoint, pretty cool. Then the next one, which I got pretty excited for, and it's probably only gonna be, but I've heard it's only like a demo or an experience, but still, I kind of want to try it out. Star Wars X-Wing missions, and that's gonna be cool.
This is a throwback to Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Just outright a throwback. If you never played Rogue One, you wouldn't realize it. But I grew up playing these Star Wars games. I played Rogue One religiously for years. This is a throwback straight to it, and I love it.
Yeah, it's freaking A, man. Like when I first heard the Star Wars music in the VR, I was thinking like, yes, yes, I want to pilot an X-wing in VR and just experience that. Yeah, that freaking looks good. I want to see more details about that, and I want to see exactly what that looks like. But Star Wars X-wing missions, Sony's making it very, very what was it looking for? That they are making it very tempting for me to get a VR headset, which maybe.
Yeah, and that's another thing is like from what I've been reading about, like we kind of talked about this beforehand. Everything that I've been reading about the Vive is that it won't work on current gen PS4s. That's another thing they didn't talk about, which I was surprised.
Yeah, they didn't talk about the Neo. They acknowledged that it exists, but they didn't talk about it. So yeah, that's a good point. They didn't say anything about if you have the VR that it will work on the Neo or on the current system. My bet is the fact they're gonna work on both. It's gonna work on both systems. So that's my guess.
Well, what I was reading is that the developers for the Vive and games for the Vive have been saying that getting it to work on like a current PS4 is really, really, really difficult. So if they can't get the Vive to work on a current PS4, like they're expecting people to buy a new PS4 and the headset for what, $700, $800?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is.
I would definitely see that price come down for a new one, honestly. If they're going to combo it like that, you're probably going to see a price drop.
Sure,
Because,
I'm not denying you that, but it's still.
Oh no,
like,
it'll still be. Yeah, I'm going to say it's probably going to be in the $600-$700 mark, somewhere in there. But Sony has. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it with Nintendo. We've seen it with Sony. They are willing to sell these consoles at a loss to get new product out there.
Yes.
So it's not completely unheard of. They may decide, hey, you know what? We're going to make a bundle with everything, the new console, the VR headset, everything. Okay, what's Microsoft pricing it at? $400, $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
But as it stands right now, the headset is a separate thing that is $400, and that's fucking expensive.
It is, and but to be fair, it's the cheapest right now out of the VR headsets. So.
Sure, and it will get cheaper. I'm sure the VR will get cheaper if it does kick off, if it does become more popular than whatnot. But as it stands right now, everything that we saw today, it's more of a cool thing than a necessity.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
The next game they showed off in the press conference for the VR block they didn't show anything really, just kind of like a teaser trailer for a Batman Arkham VR game. And
yeah, they showed nothing.
They showed nothing. The fact that it exists,
That was an announcement.
Yeah. What was interesting, the fact it was Rocksteady that is working on this. So I'm not quite sure what exactly. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe it's a Batman Arkham Asylum, like for VR possibly, or an experience. Because some of these games aren't realistically games. Some of them are actually experiences as well. So
right, like let's to kind of go into this a little bit, but they showed for Final Fantasy 15 a VR experience, and something that I've kind of talked about with VR in the past is that it's mostly characters are stationary, and or at least limited to a very small space, and with the thing on the Final Fantasy 15 is the character can kind of move around the area by blinking from point to point. But as for like what he does, he's stationary shooting. So I'm curious, like Resident Evil 7 did show the character moving, Is that done with a controller? Like, I just I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. But as of right now, I see a lot of things with VR that are stationary, and this was one of them.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, they also, speaking of Square Enix, they showed off that VR experience, that attachment. You get to be one of the characters and you shoot things, and you tag along with the crew. But this also attached with the game that's going to come out this year. A release date was announced for Final Fantasy 15 for September 30th of this year. Which I again I said earlier in the podcast, or prior to the other podcast I did. September is becoming a very stacked month this year. So
yeah, absolutely.
So the next thing they showed, so then they transitioned out of the VR block, and then straight into Call of Duty. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. They showed off shooting in space. You take a guy's mask, or not mask off, but his helmet off. He suffocates in space.
That is a rough death right there.
Yeah,
right? Explosive decompression. Yeah, good luck, buddy.
Yeah, that is. Woo! That actually, like, that demo looked really, really cool, and makes me actually want to play Infinite Warfare. So
yeah.
Kudos to them.
Definitely. The thing about it too was that I liked the I believe it was part of it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that spaceship battle. Yeah, the spaceship battle. Yeah, you're in the spaceship. You launch from Earth and you go to space, and then you fight these. You fight the enemy.
Did you just say Earth?
No. Yeah, Earth. Yes, Earth.
No, he said Earth, not Earth.
He said Earth. He absolutely said Earth.
I'm getting ready for the Independence Day movie, so I got ready to say it correctly. But I love the air-to-air combat they showed off in the game. I think that's really, really cool. And it's been a while since we've had something like that. And I haven't played a Call of Duty game in a long time, so saying this has intrigued me, specifically the air combat for sure. But it is definitely I want to see what this kind of develops into and what the reaction is, because Call of Duty has kind of been going a bit downhill for the past year or two. Or
that's an understatement.
Yeah, well, yeah. So after which they announced the release date, which is going to be on November 11th. It's going to be on the November 11th. I mean, November 4th of this year is when it's happening. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna get that, and on top of that, we're getting a Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare remaster with the game. So, which from the trailer, it looks good, man. That Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is one of the best games I've ever played.
Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 are still today considered the best Call of Duty games to ever come out.
Agreed,
yeah, absolutely.
Agreed. So definitely really cool to see an HD res or remaster of the game. It looks really, really good. Then from shooting shooting people in space to something I got really excited about. I still kind of afterwards like, oh, it's not a new game. Still, Crash Bandicoot coming back, remastered. The games 1 through 4 are going to be remastered, bringing to the PS4. But it's also he's being brought to the Skylanders game as well. Now I'm pretty okay with the remaster. I want to see what Crash looks like in a remastered game. I was hoping for a new Crash Bandicoot game altogether, but it looks like we're not getting that. Maybe it depends on how well the remaster does.
Yeah, like I'm pretty damn sure that this is a test.
Yes.
And nothing more.
Definitely. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm definitely gonna probably play it, and cannot wait for the remastered edition of Crash Bandicoot. I want to see what it looks like.
Okay, and I want to interrupt real quick and jump back to the new God of War. I just found an article that is confirming that they are moving to Norse mythology.
Oh, sick! That is awesome. Sick. God of War, still freaking looking. Oh my god, I can't even put in words together to describe that game. But yeah, like I'm excited for Crash Bandicoot. it's a childhood game of mine. I played a lot of it when I was younger, and I cannot wait to play it again. So yeah. Then they showed up after was the Lego Star Wars game, and this is something I think, Greg, this is more in your line of like Lego Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I've played every single Lego franchisee game. I am a fan of them. They tend to all kind of be the same at this point, but that's part of the charm, in my opinion. So yeah, I definitely am looking forward to this. As a matter of fact, I'm downloading the demo right now on the PS4.
Awesome.
I was hoping that they would kind of go back to what the original Lego Star Warses were, where there was no voice acting. It was just all done with like animations, and it was cute in that fashion. But it seems like they're going different than that. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's cool to see the Lego games kind of grow from where it started to where it is right now. I kind of got tired of them after a while, but like they still put in some jokes that are pretty funny, and it's like, that's actually pretty cute to see. Side note, so in the chat, apparently the Resident Evil 7 does follow the storyline and is after 6 is gonna continue it. So I am now very, very curious to see what that looks like. But yeah, Lego Star Wars, hey, it's cool. I like it. Just definitely a cool thing to see. So this is where I think this was the one of the big drum bombs, because like,
oh, I know where you're going.
Yes, because like, okay, backstory: Hideo Kojima left Konami under what could have been described as one of the worst situations that anybody publicly knew between Konami and Kojima for during the event of making of Metal Gear Solid 5.
That is an understatement. If you see the video of him right after the release, after he got terminated from that, or he left, I'm still not 100% clear what happened. Mm-hmm. He looks like he was a POW. Like, he looks like he just got out of an internment camp or something.
Yeah, like you see that the last time we saw him was with Andy. What's his name? Newhouse? His last name? But he's with Andy sitting on a couch, and you see him. He's got a beard growing. He looks a little bit more skinnier than he usually is. Like, he definitely does look like a POW. Just got out of a jail, and he definitely seen better days. But he quickly went back to work into making another game and had a deal with Sony with a Sony exclusive game. What was shown was that, okay, I mean, first off, he walks in like Michael Jackson style from the stage going downwards, and like every step he took, a light just lit underneath his foot. I thought was really cool.
I feel like they blew a lot of their production budget just on him. They're like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna make you look awesome.
Yes, it was as if it was like God just came upon mere mortals. It was really cool. He stood there, he's like, says, hello, and then it's like, here's my new game, check it out.
Kind of. Let's rewind this a little bit, because there was something awesome that happened. He comes out and he just goes, hello, I'm back. And the audience lost their goddamn...
Yes. Oh, Greg.
Kojima, at this point in his career, could walk out on the stage and be like, I'm back, and out everyone fucking just starts stabbing everybody because they're so excited.
Yes.
It was really fucking cool to see that happen. Mm-hmm. Just primarily because of the history and what we know.
Yes.
But yeah, so then the game.
Yes. Oh my god. So they showed off the game. Not really the game, but simply a trailer for it, and they still had Norman Reedus as the model, and he's going to be in the game. And you see this trailer of him just naked on a beach, and then he's like kind of just looking around, and then like he sees a baby that's connected to him, and he's clenching the baby, crying, and there's music in the background. And that was the moment where it's like, okay, this is a Kojima game. This is going to get really weird. Next thing you
Yeah,
know,
he had like a cesarean section scar.
yeah, yeah. And he stands up. You know, he looks up and he sees like people, humans, up in the sky, and then like just got weirder. I mean, this is Kojima we're talking about. He gets really weird on his games.
Oh,
And
I'm
then
sure this is spiritually fucking Silent Hills.
it is, because like it's a spiritual just PT or Silent Hills. It's basically that. But what they call this is called Death Stranding. That was cool. I like the hey, you know what? If you're gonna make a Silent Hills game, but not call it Silent Hills, but still make it, go for it. I'm totally down for it.
So, and one thing I really like too is that if you watched PT, it was Norman Reedus, right?
Yes, that was.
I love the fact that even though all that shit went down, fucking crash and burn, light the fucking bridges, scorch earth tactics, he still retained Norman to come over for this new game.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that they brought him over and that there's that much dedication on both their sides to continue that relationship.
Yes. The other big they were kind of hinting at it as they get closer to E3. My question, I wonder if Del Toro is still a part of this, or any of the other people they had previously worked on a part of this project now. Is my question. So. We'll have to wait and see, but I am really excited and really glad that Kojima's back at it. So,
it's exciting to see something new come from him. With everything that happened, like it's really really cool that somebody went out there and was like, I hope you're not tainted, and let's go make things.
Yes, definitely. The next game they showed off in the Sony press conference was the Spider-Man game by Insomniac. This is something you got right, Greg. Actually, I didn't think that was going to be a Spider-Man game.
That was a fucking guess on my part. I was right.
I didn't. This was a surprise to me. Like I wasn't expecting to see a Spider-Man game at all, and this looks like an entirely new Spider-Man game that is not tied to the movies or. It looks like it's something on its own, and Insomniac are the ones making it. I'm really, really excited. Freaking A.
If we look at the history that Spider-Man has had, both in movies and in video games, now's a great time to have it. Marvel just got control of him for movies. He actually had a very positive response in Civil War. Mm-hmm. So now seems like the perfect time to bring a new Spider-Man movie, or Spider-Man video game rather, out, because you're going to see that popularity surge. Like Marvel knows what they're doing with their guys. Spider-Man's going to be popular again. They're going to try and be like one step ahead of that wave, so that when it really ramps up and Spider-Man's really going big, they're right there and they've got the game out there and they can just sell it like crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
So I am very excited to see what Spider-Man looks like. I'm actually probably going to watch some more vids this week for E3. As far as like what the gameplay is gonna look like, but man, I am like shockingly surprised. Or no, what's the word I'm looking for? Not shockingly surprised. I am like, I didn't expect this to happen, but I am happy that it did anyways. So,
it's exciting. It really is.
Yep. And then the last thing, which we talked already, was the live demo of Days Gone, which again looks really good. I like the direction it's going towards, and graphically it looks great as well.
Sorry, I had to interrupt you for a second. I was looking at somebody.
You are blocky as hell, by the way.
Your network just took a dump.
God damn it! God damn it! No. How's it now?
No. Maybe now.
Come back now.
No.
It is like watching like Clayface just like slowly.
Greg is a robot underwater right now.
Okay, is it better? Is it still worse?
I mean, your audio sounds pretty okay. So what do we gotta say? Go for it.
Anyway, it was a tweet out for the Kojima thing, and it says it quoted Hideo Kojima like in a fake, jokey manner. Sorry we've been gone for so long. Here's Norman Reedus' ass.
I apologize. Please take my sacrifice.
Yes, I think that's one. I saw another tweet that was something about that, like people were pretty excited for Kojima, and everybody cheered. But then when Norman Reedus stood up, pretty much naked in that trailer, like every girl screamed.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was actually I was kind of surprised that the Sony press conference was only an hour. Usually they're around 2 hours, and they have packed full of other stuff that they would announce. But it only lasted an hour for this year, which is interesting.
I think the reason for that, though, is usually they sit there and they actually, you know, talk about the games, explain them out, all that. This time it was just, like I said earlier, just wham, 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 wham. Okay, we're done.
Yeah, they had. I think that's a good point to bring up. Like they barely had anybody come out and just say and speak about the game. Like literally, like it was just like trailer after trailer, gameplay trailer after trailer after trailer, gameplay trailer.
Sony has nailed what the other companies are having trouble doing, and that's understanding. And this is kind of what I talked about earlier. The E3 is no longer a trade show. Period. These are no longer press conferences. These are quite literally public shows that they're putting on. And they know what the public wants. They want games. They want to know what games are coming out. They want to see trailers and demos. Sony delivered.
Oh,
hands down.
They
hands
delivered
down, Sony delivered.
Yes, they
everybody
did.
Everybody else was like, well, it's still a trade show. It's still a press conference. So we have to come out as if it's a press conference.
What they're forgetting, though, is you make a very good point. The actual presentations, like what we just watched, those are for the fans, those looking to see what's coming out. The actual trade show portion of it is what happens away from the actual conference halls and on the floor itself. That's where you're actually going to have your trade show happen. And Sony's picked up on that great, as you pointed out. Everyone else seems to be kind of behind the ball on this one.
Agreed. So with everything we've just seen, I'm going to ask this question. I think I already know the answer already as it is. We got a grade Sony press conference. Alex, what's your grade on the Sony press conference?
Honestly, as great as it is, I'm gonna rate it a little bit lower than I think it really does, just because I think there is room for them to improve. I'm gonna give them an A- on this one. I think they deserve a little bit better than that. They probably deserve a solid A, maybe an A+. But the fact that we saw things like the Batman VR that was literally just hey, it's Batman, okay, we're done. I would have liked to see a little bit more to that. Maybe like just a little bit more of a trailer. There's a couple things in there, like the Skylander thing just threw me off. I don't know why anybody is supporting that thing anymore at all. I feel like it was just kind of attached to Crash Bandicoot just so that they had a way to justify bringing Crash Bandicoot back, which I don't think he needs to have a justification for. I think he can do it on his own. But overall, I mean, this is easily the strongest one that I've seen. Granted, I missed some of the ones earlier today because of work, but this blows everybody else out of the water by a fucking landslide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Greg, your grading for Sony's press conference?
I agree with what was said. I think those reasons don't let me give it an A-, but I'm going to give it an A, just because there was everything they showed was interesting to a point. Even the Crash Bandicoot thing was interesting. The idea of a VR Batman game, interesting. Granted, they didn't show a whole lot, or there was a lot of times where they showed a quick trailer and not actual gameplay. But even in that same instance, I was still interested. It makes me kind of angry I don't have a PS4 right now, and that I need to buy one. No other conference had made me feel that way. I didn't feel lucky that I owned an Xbox One. I feel like I am unlucky that I don't own a PS4 right now. And for that alone, it gets an A. The reason it doesn't get an A+ is because I feel like there were moments that seemed unnecessary. Like the trailer for Star Wars Lego. Like, cool, you got the demo out right now, but it's not something that I have to go and I didn't already know about. Or the idea behind this is to be newsworthy. And I feel like they exemplified that, but had moments that were like, okay. And but again, still in that regard, like I enjoyed the trailer to Lego Star Wars, regardless. So, because in the idea of Star Wars EA, at least we saw fucking gameplay of more of Lego Star Wars than just people working on things in studios.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I give it an A. I give it a solid A.
All right. So my grading for the Sony press conference, I am actually going to give it an A as well. And the reason being is that this entire press conference had me entertained the entire time. Every trailer and every gameplay trailer they showed off was really good. These are games that more than often than I said to myself, I want to get, or I want to check it out, or I want to see what it's more about in the next coming days at E3. Um, what I was surprised that they didn't talk about, because it was, they acknowledged the fact that the Neo does exist and that it's going to be something they're working on right now for 4K. They did not bring it up during the press conference. The other thing I like to note is that the majority of the games they showed off during this press conference were majority first party, or if not all first party games. They weren't rehashing or kind of showing enough what other gameplay trailers or trailers that from previous press conferences, because of multi-platform, they focused more on their first party and showcasing like these are our exclusives. These are the games that are coming to the PlayStation VR and the PS4. Stick around, and if you are a Sony owner, like this is the games you're looking forward to, because if you're thinking about the other games are multi-platform, you're gonna see those games regardless on Xbox One, PS4, and PC and whatever. So I think it's really smart of them for Sony to come out and just focus on their first-party stuff and to showcase like we have games coming down the pipeline.
In
Really
that in
see.
that respect, Microsoft did the same thing. They just didn't have as many killer unknowns as Sony did.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, so yeah, that's gonna do it for us. I am like complete darkness right now. um,
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
It's really a shame that Nintendo doesn't have a direct tomorrow because
Yeah, that's the thing too. So for tomorrow, um, the Nintendo's not having a direct or a press conference tomorrow.
they're
And
just
they're
doing
gonna be showing
Treehouse
up.
all day.
Yeah, they're gonna be showing just some of the games that they're working on, including Zelda, including other games as well as Pokemon Sun and Moon as well, and other games. So we're not going to be doing anything for tomorrow morning for the Nintendo, but we'll see. You'll definitely see some footage out there of what Nintendo is showing off this year, E3. But overall, like this has been a very interesting press conferences for the games they showed off and the games going to be shown at E3 this year. More than anything, I'm going to look up and see what these games are going to look like for the next couple of days. And I'll have some thoughts about it later on.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a small YouTube video of my personal highlights of every conference and everything that I saw at E3. Probably have that ready by like Friday or Saturday.
Awesome, awesome.
Then I'll go up
Um,
on the site.
yeah, definitely, definitely. We'll be on the lookout for that. Um, I might write up something too, just like just like, hey, this is my game of E3 that I enjoyed watching and can't wait for. Um,
I'm not gonna write anything up because I'm a lazy fucker and I'm a photographer.
it's all right. You can just like take a picture of yourself, give me the thumbs up. It's like, hey, Sony, hey.
So what I'm gonna do is everything I hate, I'm gonna just print out like images of them, and I'm just gonna burn them and record it and then upload it.
Like you take an image of EA symbol and just like, okay, here's
I'm
what I
just gonna
think
set.
of.
You know what? No, I'm not gonna take an image. I'm gonna go to Home Depot, buy wood, construct the EA logo, and set it on fire.
You know what I will say about this year's E3 with all the conferences? It ramped up the whole way. Like the low end was E3, or I'm sorry, it was EA,
Hmm.
and then Bethesda was slightly better than EA, and then Microsoft was better than Bethesda, and then Ubisoft was better than Microsoft, and now Sony's just like way better than all of them. I
And
just
Sony's
realized
like,
that.
kids, let me show you how this shit's done.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, pretty much. So yeah, I think that it's been very interesting couple days or the past 2 days of doing these press conferences. All these recordings today will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, Facebook, and the audio recordings of these will be uploaded to our podcast channels on iTunes and Stitcher. But this is going to end our press conference coverage. Again, thank you guys who are tuning in. Thank you who followed, and thank you for the ones who are listening on the internet in some sort of fashion through YouTube or on iTunes and Stitcher. Before we end the stream, Alex, where can I find you on the internet?
You can find me at Temperature Photography on Facebook, or you can find me on twitch.tv/BigU. If you are in here currently, you can actually go ahead and click on my link, or if you're not, it's spelled BIGIEU.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And Greg, where can I find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr. Jesus, why do I do that every time? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, under Chubrock Geek. You can follow me on Snapchat under Chubrock Snap. I believe I'm checking that, double checking. I think I changed the name. Yep, Chubrock Snap. I wish I could change that. Wait, can I? Nope, I can't. Okay. I stream every Saturday on twitch.tv/halfempty energy tank. As a matter of fact, during the Ubisoft conference, they announced Trials by Blood Dragon.
Yeah, Trials of
the Blood Dragon. Trials of the Blood Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Trials. I love the Trials games, and I loved Blood Dragon, so just it's a good combo. So I bought that already, and I'll probably stream that Thursday, Friday, or Saturday on Half Empty, just because most of the people at Half Empty are going to Magstock, which is this like camping Magfest sort of thing.
Oh.
And Thursday, Friday, and then of course my show on Saturday, and I believe even Sunday is available. So I know that some of the team members are taking over. So anyway, stay tuned to Half Empty Energy Tank. I'll be streaming this week at some point, and I'll probably be playing that.
Awesome.
Yeah. If you want to check that out. I'll be tweeting tomorrow about the Nintendo stuff. So, like I said, follow me on Twitter, Chubrock Geek. What else? What else is there? Oh, and I try to stream every Sunday on my own channel at noon. I'm trying to stick to that schedule, but summer's been crazy so far.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely been a very interesting summer so far.
Yeah, and then and I have a review on our YouTube page right now.
Oh yes, of course. Yes. The review was Phoenix Furia. Furia, yeah, which is reviewed by Greg, but video edited by me. So
yes,
it's a good review. If you haven't check it out, guys, it's on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/MissionStarPodcast1. So definitely check it out there. If you want to follow me personally on Twitter, you can follow me at Defective Naruto. And like everybody said here, you can follow the work that we all do at missionstartpodcast.com. All this footage of our press conference will be up on our YouTube channel, again on our audio feeds, as well as on our website as soon as I can possibly can. And again, thank you guys for coming by and checking out the coverage. And that's going to do it for us. So with that being said, this is Anthony Be Honest. This has been a multi-episode of Mission Star Podcast, and we will see you guys next time.